I always have issues with YouTube. I don't know. Ah, we're live. All right, beautiful. All right. I thought we were not live on YouTube again, but we are. Hello, guys. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, I know I haven't streaming. I haven't been streaming for like 2 weeks on Coaches. That's because I had exams, but we're back. We're back with another Coaches stream, another class. And yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. So, yeah, today we're doing defensive tactics, as you can read from the title. And actually, we've done this topic in the past. I think in August I had the exact same topic actually. That was one of my first streams for Coaches. So yeah, that was defensive tactics. But today it's gonna be advanced, so it's gonna be a bit harder. So yeah, it was pretty hard to find like harder exercises. I'm not gonna lie. I was like doing some tactics online, trying to find some good exercises to include in today's stream, but it was pretty hard sometimes to find harder ones. But yeah, I think I found some that are harder than previous stream that I did in August. And yeah, I hope you guys are ready for today's class. So, defensive tactics. Before hopping into the first exercise, let me first revise again what defensive tactics are. Because not everyone knows what that is, or some of you have already forgotten what defensive tactics are, or some of you are new and have just joined the stream and have no clue what that is. So let me explain to you what defensive tactics are. So basically, defensive tactics occur when... Sorry, let me just check. My Wi-Fi sometimes is unstable. Let me first check if it's good. All right. And here it looks good too. All right. Anyway, so defensive tactics basically occur when you try to escape from your opponent's tactics or your opponent's threats. It could be mating threats, anything. So basically you try to escape from them and without losing material. It's perfectly fine. All right, that's good to hear. All right, so in this position, let's illustrate it with this position. You can see that black is threatening mate in 1 on h1, right? So if it was black to move here, then black would probably play rook h1 checkmate. So that would be very ideal for black. But it's white to move here. And white, of course, does not want to get checkmated. And you need to find a way to prevent that idea. So yeah, defense is important, not only attacking all the time. Yeah, you need to be careful. You shouldn't focus on your own attack if your opponent is also trying to do sneaky stuff to you. So in this case, black is doing some sneaky stuff. It's not that sneaky. It's pretty obvious. The threat rook h1 is threatening checkmate in 1. And now you have to find the move for white to prevent that checkmate. Can you give me suggestions for white? What would you do here to prevent the checkmate? This is a relatively easy one compared to the others, I would say, because it's a pretty obvious move. But I'm not going to give away too much, because I always give away stuff very easily. So I'm just going to shut up and let you guys think. What would you play here with white? What move would you play here to prevent that annoying checkmate? So yeah, we have a defensive tactic, I would say, here. Let's see. If let me check the Coaches Twitch stream as well, because I sometimes tend to forget that. All right, it's not very active. All right, yeah, most of you have guessed it. Indeed. It's basically the only move for white. Queen takes f1. All the other moves just lose instantly. So yeah, queen takes f1. Obviously, well, black will take back the queen. But what is the reason? What is the reason behind queen takes f1? You're not just taking it because it's the only move that prevents that checkmate. But it also does something else. So what happens after queen takes f1 and black takes back? So you're not just sacrificing your queen just to prevent a mate. You also need to get something in return for it, because otherwise, yeah, indeed, it allows queening. It allows queening. So luckily we have our pawn on b7, and now we have another queen. So we just lost our queen on f1, but luckily we can get our queen back by promoting our pawn to b8. And after queen f2, black plays queen f2 to try for a perpetual check. So the threat here is queen g3 check here. I always want to highlight, but it doesn't work out sometimes. So queen g3 check. After king g1 or king h1, then black wants to return to e1 with another check. And then white goes back, and there's another check. So you can keep on checking whites, and it's going to be perpetual. So white, of course, does not want to draw. How do we prevent that idea of black? Yes, okay, f5, f5. f5 is indeed the correct move, but also two people are saying queen e5. Okay, queen e5 does not work. f5 is actually the only move that's winning for white, because after queen e5, it's logical, right? You want to make forcing moves, and check is a forcing move. But the king is not forced to move. Black also has a bishop. So bishop f6, and now the black bishop actually is attacking the white queen. And we have to do something about that, otherwise we'll just lose our queen. And after we move our queen, then black again has queen g3 check, and then this perpetual. So that is not ideal. We do not want that. So if the bishop weren't there, then of course go ahead. But there was a very annoying bishop move that can intervene. All right. So it's of course f5, and f5 is basically opening up the diagonal for the queen here. And the queen is now looking at the g3 square as well. So the black queen cannot enter that square. So that's basically preventing that idea. So there's no perpetual. And white is just basically winning here because we're up in exchange. White is just doing much better. And black doesn't even have a check here. So after e5, let's say, blocking that diagonal, of course, we can just simply take that pawn with a check. So that's basically what this exercise is about. Do you understand? Cover g3 by f5. Very good. Rook takes the bishop. Oh, so where did you want to take the bishop? Where did you wanted to take the bishop? Oh, instead of f5, you wanted to take the bishop? Yeah, of course you need to be careful of that threat of queen g3. So yeah, f5 is the only move here, and yeah, all the other moves are just draws. So yeah. All right, that was the first one. That's supposed to be the easiest one. I hope that was an easy one for you. And now I'm gonna give you harder ones. All right, next. Here it is white to move again. And obviously you can see that white's king is in big danger. It looks very vulnerable. It looks very checkable, attackable, all these adjectives you can add. But yeah, because there's knight g3 check. Let's highlight it. Knight g3 check. There's queen h3 check, which is the biggest threat actually. And the king is just not very healthy there on f1, I would say. And white can actually escape from all these threats with one correct move. So there's only one move for white that wins. White can win here by making one correct move, and which prevents certain threats. So which move would you play here? And it's not very easy, of course. Well, the theme is advanced tactics, so it's a little bit more advanced. It's not a very obvious move, I would say. And here I would also not say it's a tactic. So yeah, there are 2 exercises. I have 12 exercises in total, but there are 2 exercises, and this is one of them, which aren't really tactics. More like making a move, preventing the threat, but also winning for you at the same time. So here you're actually defending, but also winning. So what would you play here? And yeah, I already see someone saying bishop takes f3. I was just about to say in the game, this was a game played between Peter Murray and Lawrence Day. And in the game, white played a bishop takes f3, which was a blunder actually, because now black has queen h3 check. The king, well, moves aside, and black will just simply take that bishop. And the king is even more vulnerable now. There are open files all over the place. The f file is open, the g file is open, and black is just winning here. So bishop takes f3 is actually a very bad move, and there's only one move for white that is winning here. It's really not an obvious move, but if after 15 seconds no one has given me a correct answer, then I will give you a hint, or I'll give you the solution. It's not a very obvious move, of course. h3, someone says, actually h3 makes sense. I can see why you want to play h3, because you don't want the queen to go to h3, right? But there's actually a move that also covers that square. So you don't have to move your pawn to h3, because after h3, you can see that the g3 squares, the g3 square opens up. So now the knight can enter with a double attack on the king and the rook. And that's also not looking healthy. And after, let's say, king g1, there is even a double attack on e2. Oof, I cannot even think about it. So it's not h3, but we can take away that square with another piece. So now it's probably more easy. Queen takes, okay, no, it's not queen takes f6, but queen, the queen is pinning that rook on f6, and that's also something black should worry about. You will see later on that this could cause some troubles for black. But yeah, indeed, it's bishop f5. So now I've given a big hint that you can take away the h3 square with another piece, and that's, well, obviously the bishop. So instead of bishop takes f3, which would have led to queen h3 check, we go bishop f5. And after bishop f5, the rook on f6 cannot take that bishop because it's pinned, right? We have a queen here on this diagonal, and the rook is pinned, so black cannot take that bishop. But the bishop is also doing something else. The bishop is taking away that h3 square from the black queen, and it's just protecting it. So there's no queen h3 check, which was the biggest threat here. And now black has knight to g3 check. Indeed, yeah, knight g3, very good. Why not knight g5? So knight g5. Knight g5, can you see that this knight is unprotected? I mean, it is protecting the h3 square, but there's nothing else that's protecting the knight. So black can just simply take that knight, and you've basically just given up your knight for nothing. So I would not play that move. So before making a move, make sure that the move you're making is good and that it's protected, and you should double check. So knight g5 is definitely not protected. All right, so bishop f5 and knight to g3 check. Now white takes it. Black takes it back. It looks like black is gonna mate in a few moves, but you will see that black soon enough will not have any more checks left. So after white is just allowing black to take the rook, it's no problem, because the king will just simply find his way to another and safer square. So king f2, kind of forced. Now queen g2 check. We move our king to e3. Only move. Now black goes queen e2 check. Black, of course, wants to make forcing moves. Any other move loses, because now you can see that the rook on f6 is unprotected, because the knight on h5 is gone. Also, the queen is not protecting the rook anymore. So now the rook is really vulnerable, and white is also threatening mate into 2. So after queen takes f6, if the king moves, then there's checkmate on g7. So that's why black wants to make forcing moves, because otherwise you just lose on the spot with the black pieces. So queen e2 check. The king only has 1 square to go, and that's f4. Even more checks, bishop to d2. The king steps aside. Now, h5, another check. f2 would also have been possible, but it doesn't make any difference, because the king will just be able to go on a safe square, and there won't be any more checks left. After, let's say here, f2 check, we have g4. And now you can see black does not have any checks left. If the rook was not pinned on f6, then there would have been like rook h6 checkmate, which would have been nice for black. But unfortunately, the rook is tied down to f6, and that option is just simply not possible. So after g4, you can think all you want with the black pieces, but there's just no check or no winning possibility here. It's just losing, and white will just win in a few moves, and it'll be mate soon. So yeah, most annoying pin ever, right? Yeah, this is a very unfortunate pin. Preferably you would just want to drag away the queen off the board and just make the move rook h6 checkmate, but that's not possible. That's not how chess works. I'm sorry, I'm tired. Sometimes my English just doesn't work out for me. All right, g4, and now it's just over. I have ended the variation here, and white will just win in a few moves. All right, was that clear? I hope so. It was a bit more advanced, right? This was a bit harder than the previous one, because bishop, of course, bishop f5 is not a move you would look at first. 3 a.m. lesson. Here it's evening. Okay, let me see if the Twitch chat. Nope. All right. Okay, so no questions about this. I guess it's clear then. So, all right, let's go to the next one. All right, black to move. Let's flip the board. All right, this is a pretty nice one actually. So it looks like white is about to win a piece, right? Because white is here attacking the queen, and you basically will be forced to move your queen, and then on the next move, white will be able to win the knight on c5. So after the queen moves, there's queen takes c5, and you will just be down a piece. Is it lost for black though? Also, this queen f6, queen g7 maneuver might be a threat too, but of course there will be knight e6 too. But of course, the biggest threat is knight on c5. Oh my god, I can't even talk anymore. The knight on c5 is hanging. So what will black do here? Is there a way to save the knight on c5? Can you see what move black could play here? Just queen e2, right? You mean queen e2, but I just said that if you move your queen, let's say to e2, no, I want to draw an arrow. If you go to e2, then this knight on c5 is hanging, so there will be queen takes c5, and you will just lose your knight. So is there a way to defend that knight, or is there a way to do a defensive tactic? Is there a tactic here? No, there's no smarter mate here. It's just a tactic here. So okay, I see many suggestions. Many of you have guessed it correctly. Some even say knight e4. Okay, so knight to e4. There's only one move. Knight to e4 is a good idea, but you make another move first. So those who have guessed queen takes f2 check. So that's the procedure. That's how you proceed. So queen takes f2 check, which looks absurd, right? Because you're just giving up on your queen. But there's a tactic. After king takes, we have knight to e4. And the king is forced to move, and we win back the queen. So we didn't lose our knight. But if you move your knight first, let me see. If you move your knight first, you have the same idea. You're attacking the queen on d6 and the pawn on f2. But white can just go queen d4. And like I said, this queen maneuver to g7 and mate can be quite dangerous, actually. So now white is actually threatening checkmate in 1. So the best way to handle this position is, of course, queen takes. Just try to make forcing moves. So here, queen takes f2 is, of course, a forcing move. White is kind of forced to take it. And after we take it, we take back the queen. And that's that. All right, and we didn't lose our knight, which is great. So always look out for those tactics. They can be really useful. Tactics are great. Tactics really improve your chess. Study tactics. All right, so that wasn't too hard, right? That was the third one. Now let's go to the next one. Here it is white to move. All right. Again, a very scary looking position. Very scary because there is a threat here going on. The rook is on the h file. The queen is also attacking the knight. And there will be another king walk if you allow black to take on h2. So the king will, again, walk somewhere. So we kind of don't want to allow that. So what do we do here with white? How do we prevent this? The first move is pretty obvious, but then the next move might be a bit harder. But try to give me the entire variation. What do we do here with white? How do we prevent this queen takes h2 threat? Give me a move for white, a move for black, and then another move for white. So give me 3 moves in total. For white, 2 moves for white, and 1 move for black. So I wanna see what you guys are thinking. Okay. All right. So knight takes g4. What happens after queen h5? Let us visualize this. Can you guys visualize? So that means I'm not making the moves on the board. Yeah, on the screen. But I'm just saying the moves. So knight takes g4, queen h5. What happens then? What happens after queen h5? Because after queen h5, you're threatening queen h1. Which would be checkmate. So what happens then? Knight takes g4, queen h5. Queen takes h5 is not possible because there's a knight on g4. See, it's also good to practice our visualization skills sometimes. So yeah. So after knight takes g4, your knight is on g4 and not on h2 anymore. So if black makes the move queen h5, let's make the moves on the board. So knight takes g4, queen h5, threatening queen h1. Now it's pretty obvious, I hope. What move do we have now? Okay, I see some longer variations. That's good. Okay, now everyone is saying something else. So some of you are saying king takes g2 here, and some of you are saying king to f1. All right. So let's make, well, okay, let's say we play king takes g2. What can black do now? It's mate in 2. King takes g1, I would not advise you to do here. What happens after king takes g2? What can black do? It's mate in 2. So that's not a good sign. Queen h3, you didn't see. Queen h1. No. Queen h1, then you will just lose your queen. But yeah, it's queen h3, and king g1 is forced, and then we have queen h1 checkmate. Kind of painful, right? So king takes is not a good move. Also, some of you said king f1. I read, right? King f1, which makes sense. You wanna get away. You want to prevent the queen h1 checkmate. But black can just also go queen h3 here, and now you're threatening. You're also threatening to move your knight to e3, or maybe knight to f4. It might be better. So you're threatening a lot of things here. So there is a better move instead of king f1 or king takes g2. And now everyone sees it. Indeed, knight f6 check. Knight f6 check. Give us hard puzzles. Oh, they're not hard? All right. Challenge accepted. All right. Knight goes to f6, and now black is of course forced to take. Otherwise, if you move the king, you will lose the queen. So black takes. We exchange the queens, and we would just win that knight, and we're up a piece. So it can be easy like that. We just won the knight on g2, and we also caused a little bad structure for black, double pawns here, but the most important part is we're up a piece. So yeah, indeed, it was knight f6 check. All right. Okay. I'm gonna try to okay. Let's see if I have some harder ones for you. So that was the 4th one. All right, the 5th one. Okay, here it is. White to move, and it's not really a tactical defensive tactic. It's not a tactic really, but you're basically trying to prevent mate, but you're also winning material. So this was the second. Yeah, there were 2 exercises that weren't really tactics, and this is the second one, I think. So you can see that black here, oh, come on, highlight. Black is threatening checkmate on a1, and we do not want to let that happen, of course. Is there a way for white to prevent that checkmate idea? And also threatening something else. Let me see. Yes, Twitch chat is also very clever. Queen h3 indeed. Knight f6 was correct indeed. Very good. All right, you guys are all very, very good chess players. Wait, what? Queen f2? Oh, there are 2 people. Queen f2 exclamation mark exclamation mark. Queen f2. All right. What is your idea with queen f2 exactly? Because I just mentioned that there's a checkmate on a1. Maybe you're thinking queen f2. You're pinning the queen, so there's no queen a1 checkmate. But there's not a rook here. So yeah, queen f2 would not be a very good move. So there would be rook a1. So yeah, there are 2 ways for blacks to checkmate. So there's queen a1 and rook a1. And with queen f2, you're stopping queen a1 checkmate, but you're not stopping rook a1 checkmate, unfortunately. Knight b2 is forced, exactly. Knight b2 is forced. This is actually the only move that's stopping the checkmate, but you're also threatening something else. So let's say black goes rook to g2, trying to take the c2 pawn. What can we do with white now? What move do we play? We have to decide between... okay, I'm not going to read it out loud. What move do we play here with white? There is indeed a mating pattern, but black is not forced to get into that mating pattern. Okay, so you guys are thinking of knight c4 and knight a4. All right. So let's see. What happens after knight a4 then? Knight a4, check. There is, well, of course, there's king b5 or king a5, right? And if you go knight c4, there's only king b5. So there's a little difference. If you go knight a4, there's king a5 or king b5. There are two options for black, and black will most likely go to a5. But if we go to c4, what happens after king to b5 now? So we've given a check. King b5 is the only move, with the king at least. What move do we play here? Yes, indeed, a4, checkmate, obviously. So knight c4 is actually a very good move because you're forcing black to go king b5, but of course king b5 leads to checkmate, so preferably black would not want to get into a checkmate and will just sacrifice the queen on c4. So that's basically what black would do, and then we take back. And white has a queen and a rook versus a knight and a rook. I think you already know who's better. So this is a hard one. Well, I'll have some harder ones, I hope. We'll see. It was pretty hard to find harder ones though. I've been searching for some harder ones like the entire afternoon, but it was pretty hard. It was really a challenge. Alright. So, alright, let's get into a harder one then. Alright, if you want a hard one, let's give you a hard one. Black to move. Is this a hard one? This might be a hard one, but I'm not sure. I think, yeah. I hope this, okay. I think this is a hard one. I hope so. Okay, so here it's black to move. Again, it's a bit scary looking because there's a queen on d6, a rook on a8, and white has a huge threat. Just joking. They're tough. All right, I'm glad for most of you they're tough. But here white is actually threatening something very hard. Something very annoying, let's say. What is a threat for white, and how do we prevent that? So let's first start off with white's biggest threat here. It's actually a mating threat. What is white's threat? And for those who think that all of my exercises are pretty easy, tell me the first move of this exercise and give me the first move. What would you play here? I want to know. So before calling it easy again, give me the move. And then we'll see. The threat is rook a7. There's a bigger threat. Let's say black makes some random move. Let's say black goes rook g8. What can white do? This is tough? Alright. What can white do now? Okay, it's not so easy. I'm happy. I am very happy. I'm very happy it's a hard one. like tormenting you guys. The threat is e7. there's mating threat, guys. Mate in 3. What is the mate? Let me see what Twitch says. Okay, nothing really special. There are 1 or 2 people that have guessed it, but most of you are wrong. This makes me happy. Yes, we've got a hard one. Finally. It's indeed rook takes b8. Looks weird, right? Well, now there's only one forcing move for black, and that's queen takes b8. And now we can take the bishop with a check. And it's gonna be mate. After queen c7, we take the queen, obviously. It's checkmate. And after king d8, we have queen d7 checkmate. So that's the biggest threat here, all right? So of course, we do not play rook g8, because that would lead to that checkmate. We need to try to find a way to not get checkmated. And how do we do that? Can you guys find a way to not get checkmated like that? So yeah, rook takes b8 is the biggest threat. Queen takes b6. Ooh, queen takes b6. Isn't that leading to wait, queen takes b6. Wait, I thought it was queen d7 checkmate, but there's a bishop. Queen takes b6. You can still take there, I guess, but then we take back. Right? And then we take there. And then it's just gonna be queen c7, right? Queen a8. I think it's gonna be a perpetual. Yeah, it's perpetual now, like this. Forcing moves. That would be perpetual. All right. Yeah, all right, but we can win here. It's not a perpetual. We can win with one move, but it's a hard one. It's a hard move. Oh wow, I've seen the correct move. Yeah, Zoro635 is correct. Ion is also correct, actually. Yes. All right. It is, yeah, it is indeed bishop b5. Indeed, very good. Bishop b5. It doesn't look like a normal move, because well, you wanna find a way to like get the rook out or the queen away from those squares, because they're threatening checkmate. But bishop b5 is actually doing the job. Bishop b5. I already highlighted some squares for the pawn, because your pawn on d3, as you can see, there's a passed pawn for you. So you're also threatening to move your pawn to d2 and d1 and queen, of course. But what is bishop b5 doing too? Well, what happens after, let's say, rook takes b8? Well, that was obviously the biggest threat. Let's see what happens now. It's not going to be mate though, because now after this, there's no queen c6 now, because the bishop has moved. There's no queen c6, which leads to queen d7 mate. The bishop is on b5, so white will have to find another move, which is queen c5 check. Maybe that does the job too, but no, it's not really exactly the same, because now we can just move our king. And after white takes the bishop, you can already see that we're up a rook, and we also have some passed pawns, so we can just move our queen to e5, and we are threat mating. Oh my god. Okay, threatening mate in 1 on e1, and we also have some passed pawns. We can get our rook in as well, so that's definitely not pleasant for white. So that the queen c5 just doesn't work out. And all right, so there's no rook takes b8 here for white. So instead, white has got to play rook to a1. Rook to a1, because, well, black is obviously also threatening this movement of the pawn. So moving the rook back to a1, there's no more threat whatsoever. Black can just relax and push the pawn. Pushing the pawn, and now rook d1, trying to block that pawn, and we can go queen c6. We can basically just try to trade off everything, because we're up a lot of material actually. So if we could just trade off the queens, we are up a bishop and a knight, and that's just winning for black now. So bishop e5 was a very, very strong move by black here. Indeed. Is bishop e8 instead of bishop b5 good? Let's see. Bishop e8. Okay, let's make it a move. Alright, bishop e8. You're also doing the same thing, right? You're getting your bishop out of the way. There will be no queen c6. But yeah, I think that will just lead... that would be probably the same as queen takes b6 we had earlier. That would probably be a draw as well. But bishop e5 is just much more active, I would say. Bishop e8 also works, I guess. Now after e7, you're threatening queen. Well, white is threatening queen d8 checkmate. And now let's see what the engine suggests. Bishop b5 again. All right. Well, going back with the bishop. All right. This. Yeah, I think this was a real game, but I didn't put the names of the players of the game on top. But I just found this position very interesting, and I included this. Yeah, it was a real game. Yeah, most of my exercises are from real games. Like I just picked some fragments which I thought were really interesting, and I just added them. So, all right, bishop b5. I like this move. Was this a hard one, guys? I really hope it was. I really hope it was. All right, next one. Black to move. Black was definitely Karpov. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah. Could have been Karpov though. It could have been. All right. Black to move. Let me flip the board first. All right. So here you can see white is threatening your opponent. White is threatening queen h6 check, and after bishop h7 there will be a checkmate on h7 because the bishop here is looking at that square too. So queen h6 is kind of scary looking. Can black stop this threat? Can black stop this threat? Who to move? It's black to move here. It's black to move. And I think this one is easier than previous one. But yeah, what can I do? I can't make them all hard ones, right? All right. Decent. All right. Indeed. Very good. Make the board bigger, please. Oh, it's okay. Let me make it bigger then. Is it better? Okay. Let's see. So, knight d3, indeed. That's the move. That's the move. Knight d3 check. You're blocking the diagonal of the bishop, but you're also giving a check. And after, let's say bishop takes d3, now you can see that white has opened up this file for the queen. And we can go bishop d4 and we're winning the queen. Okay, that was an easy one. Okay, I should have changed the order of the exercises, from easy to hard maybe, but okay. Anyway, so yeah, now we have bishop d4, and we're just winning the queen on e3. After rook c2, we just take that, and yeah. All right, okay, 93. Everyone saw it. Literally everyone. Everyone is strong in chat. 7. All right, let's go to the 8th one. You can find harder. I'll try to. Okay, this is black to move again. No, this is an easy one again. I should have put this one in the very beginning. All right, anyway, black to move, and it looks like white. It looks like white is about to promote on the next move on e8. And again, the question is, can we stop this promotion? This is an easy one. Okay, I should have put this in the very beginning, but this is an easy one. What do we do with black? How do we stop this pawn from running? We do not like running pawns. Mm-hmm. 93. No, there's no 93 here though. There's no knight here. So 93 is probably not correct. Queen a6 check. Well, the queen is already on a6. But indeed, it's queen a7 check. Little check. The king moves. What do we do now? Do we just take the pawn? Do we take the pawn, or do we do something else? Little hints, the pawn is protected. We can't take the pawn. What move do we play? Okay. Yeah, everyone's correct. Hey, Dutch Day, hello. All right. Rook g1. Okay, well, okay. Everyone is spamming with queen g1. Come on, Sofie, make the move. It's not that hard. Indeed, it's queen g1. Queen g1 check. King h3. It's just winning after a check. Forcing move. Rook h2. We just pick up that pawn. And now it looks like white can just promote to a queen. And what do we do about this? Well, we can just go queen f5 check. And after king g2, we have queen f1 checkmate. And after g4, we have queen there checkmate. Of course, white does not have to promote to a queen. White can also promote to a knight, which would mean that it's a check. And well, black will have to deal with the check first. But it doesn't change anything, because after, let's say, king h1, there are still the same threats. And after rook f2, preventing queen f5 check, we can still go queen g4 check. The king moves, and we can go rook there, attacking the g3 pawn. And it's just, well, black just has a queen and will win. So yeah. All right, this was a pretty easy one. I know. Okay, let me go to the next one. Let me go to this one. All right. Is this a hard one? Let me see. This is actually drawing. It's not winning. It's not winning for black or for white or whatsoever. It's a draw actually. But white, this is actually a game where white messed up. And it also looks like white is about to promote a second queen, right? This pawn looks like it's running. Looks like the white queen has everything under control. The black pawn cannot promote because the queen is attacking that square. So it looks like white is just winning here. But is there a move for black here that can actually stop all of that? It's black to move. Yes, it's black to move. So we're looking at black's perspective. What to play with black? I think this is a hard one. I hope. Or not. Nope, it's not. Never mind. Never mind, some people have already guessed it. Okay. It's not a hard one then. I tried. Alright. Okay, indeed. It's g4. G4. And now you're attacking the queen. And after queen e2, well, white could also have taken this pawn, actually. White should not be afraid of this promotion, because the king can just move aside, and there's no more check for black. And this will just lead to there's a check, but there will just be a perpetual. It's not a scary check, it's a perpetual check, I mean. So yeah, there will be just continuous checks, and it's just like that. All right, so white could have just taken that pawn and it would just be a draw. But in the game white played was actually a game played between James L. Burden and Larry Mark Christensen. I've never heard of those names, but I guess. So and the game was played queen e2, also stopping f1 promotion. And after g3, white blundered with move c6. Why is c6 a blunder? What can black do here? What can black do here? g4 is the only move. Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe it was not obvious for everyone. Yeah, indeed, g2 now. G2 now, and you're basically threatening two promotions now, like G1 queen and F1 queen. So that's what you're threatening. And after queen E5 check, we can just go to H1, and there are no more checks here. There's no check on E1, the pawn is protecting that square. And after C7, we can just make a queen. King moves, and we can make another queen. So we basically now have two queens on the board, and it's winning for black now. So let me go back before the blunder. So instead of c6, which was a blunder, white should have played king to a2. And king to a2 is just basically stepping out of the way of the back rank, just in case there's a check. And after g2, you can just give another check. After king h1, you can go queen g3. And now there's no g1 or f1 check, because the king is now on a2. And let's say after f1 queen, we can just simply take a knight with a check. The only move here is king g1. Now we go for another check, and there will be a perpetual. Or a lot of checks at least. So the king is just not safe anywhere. And there are just continuous checks. All right. That was so c6 was a big blunder by white, and but it's not easy to see, of course, to move your king to a2. Yeah. All right. So I guess the g4 move was it was a pretty obvious move, but I hope the continuation was a bit harder then. Let's go to the next one then. White to move. This is actually a really nice one. This is a beautiful one. This was played between Topalov and Judith Polgar. Two very strong players. And so Topalov was white and Judith Polgar was black. All right. And you can see that black is up in exchange. So black has two rooks and a queen versus a queen, a rook, and a bishop. And a pawn. And black is dominating the back rank, or the 8th rank, first rank. And white should be a little bit careful and tell me what move you would play here with white. And it's actually there's something very, very forcing in this position. Can anyone spot it? Because yeah, white is of course down in exchange, and preferably you would want to draw, of course. And what move is actually, am I giving it away? What move is forcing a draw? I hope I'm not, I think I'm giving it away. I always, I should just shut up and let you guys think instead of talking and giving away too much. I always do that. I just keep on talking and then give away the solution at the end. Alright, anyway. Let's see. What do you guys think? Is nothing winning for white here? Here? No. No. If there's someone that's better, then it's definitely white. Black. Oh my god, I can't even talk. Black. Rook G3. Ooh, Rook G3 here. But it's white to move. Why am I even making that move? It's white to move, guys. Oh my god, it's white to move. I was like, what? Rook G3? It's white to move. So, it would not be possible. Also, Rook E3 is not possible because it's white to move. Yeah, you can look at the coordinations, by the way, if you want to know who's to move. So you can see that it's flipped to white's perspective. So A1 and white side, so it's white to move. I always put the positions, the exercises in the perspective of the color to move. So, all right, everyone has seen it. It's indeed a bishop G8 check. And what's so special about bishop G8? Because you're basically just giving up on a bishop. No, you're actually not giving up on a bishop. It's actually a very good move because you're forcing black to take that bishop. And now after rook A8 check, black is of course forced to cover that check with, let's say, king F7. What happens after king H7? That's also a move, right? What happens after king H7? That is important information to be provided. I didn't mention that it was white to move. I'm sorry. Usually I say with every exercise that it's white or black to move. Maybe I forgot this exercise. Sorry. It's white to move. Yeah, indeed. There's checkmate on H8. All right. Just wanted to see if you guys are woke. So king F7 now, and now we give another check on C4. Come on. Well, I'm sorry. I just want to check if you guys are sleeping or awake, you know? Clearly everyone is awake. So, queen c4 check. Now, black covering. Well, also king f6 works. But let's say, well, in the game, actually, rook e6 was played. And now after rook a7 check, moving the king, we go for another check on f4. And now the only move here is actually queen f5. We can give another check on d4. And the game was played queen e5, queen f2, and then a perpetual. So this was a draw. Let's see what happens after. Let's see what happens after rook e5. That's also a possible move, right? You're not forced to go queen e5, but what happens after rook e5? Let's see if you guys are truly awake. Why not take the rook? You mean, wait, I think that's also possible. Queen takes g1 is also possible, but of course, after that, you both have a queen and a rook and versus queen and a rook. So you might as well just perpetual and then just get it over with, I guess. Yeah, so let's see. I was going to say rook e5. What happens then? Queen d8, question mark, question mark. That's actually a very good suggestion. So you should have put exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Queen d8 check, and it is gonna be made soon. So after king e6, what do we play now? Well, I guess you can already guess it. Rook e7, king f6, and now it's made in two. Now it's made in two. So give me the mate in two. what's the mate in 2? Very good that bishop g8, rook a, yeah, okay. All right, very good. So, and what is the rest saying? Rook. Yeah, okay, yeah, indeed. Rook d7, check, king e6, and then queen there, mate. All right. That was that. So bishop g8 was actually a very I can't even talk anymore. A very good move by white to basically force a draw. So eat the rook. You want to eat the rook? All right. So I have. Let's give you one more. Let's give you guys one more. So here, this is also no. I'm not gonna reveal it yet. Nah, I'm not gonna reveal it. I'm not gonna give away solutions again. Very move. I need coffee. I don't like coffee. I don't like the flavor of it. Yeah, maybe I should just learn to talk English. All right, black to move, and it looks like white is winning, right? Because well, first white is up a knight. And white is also threatening to take that rook on f8. Can black save himself out of this? And now I'm just gonna shut up and not reveal anything. So, what do you guys think? What would you play here? It's also a DRW. No. No, why would it be a... No, I'm just gonna shut up. I'm gonna let you guys think. Am I nervous? No, I'm not nervous. Do I look nervous? Maybe I'm just an awkward person. Rook e8. Wait. Yeah, rook d7 was made in 2. All the others were made in maybe 4 or longer, I think. So that was the fastest mate. Let's see. So, oh shoot, you guys are guessing everything. Okay, I guess this is just not an advanced defensive tactic. Or maybe you guys are all like 2400. All right, maybe it's you, not me. Okay, indeed, it's rook h5 check. Why does rook takes e8 not work, guys? Why does this not work? Why can't we just? By the way, why can't we just take that rook? It's for free. If white is threatening to take our rook, why can't we just take it ourselves? Isn't it obvious? Why does this not work? Yeah, indeed. Knight f6, knight takes f6. And what is knight takes f6 threatening? Well, first of all, you're threatening the rook to take the rook on e8, but there's a much bigger threat. You're threatening checkmate on h7 with the rook. That is a bigger threat. So, that does not work, unfortunately. So, we have to play rook h5 check. And what is this check doing? You will see. You will see soon enough. After king g1, what move do we play now? Can we take the rook now, or is it still bad? No, we're not gonna allow mate here. It's not gonna be made here. It's a DRW. Someone said earlier, a draw. So rook takes e8. Indeed, yeah. Now we can take the rook because after knight takes f6, what can black do now? I'm gonna shut up. I wanna reveal something again. But can black do something now? Can black maybe win? Or is it? No, I already said it was a draw. I'm so stupid. Okay. Anyway, where's the draw? Where's the draw? there's a double attack on e8 and h5. So what do we do about this? Rook indeed. Rook check. Rook h1 check. Now you're allowing white to take your rook, which is very, very strange, because after white takes, white is now threatening checkmate on h7, because our rook is now gone. But what do we have now? What can we do now? Why would we just allow white to take our precious rook on h1? Is there a reason behind this? All right, indeed, rook e1, check, king h2, and now we have this. And what do we call this? A stalemate. A stalemate is when our king cannot move, or we cannot make any other moves, and it's our turn, and we can't make a move. So that's stalemate. So yeah, stalemate. What? That's a very odd way of spelling stalemate. That's a nice one, right? Yeah. Because well, black was obviously down knight, and of course, obviously a draw would be nice, and we achieved that with this movement of a rook. So that was that. Did you guys like the exercises? I hope they were a bit more advanced than the previous stream I did in August, but I'm not sure actually. It was pretty hard to find advanced ones. But yeah. At least one of them was advanced, right? At least one of them. Even rook e1, yeah, rook e1 worked as well, yeah, indeed. Yep, true. But this is just very beautiful, isn't it? But very, very, very hurtful for white to be left with a knight, a rook, and 2 pawns, and not being able to checkmate, because it's stalemate. Not all easy. Maybe you're just too good. You just don't belong here then. But yeah, of course, it really depends on your level of strength, and but yeah, for some people it might have been very easy, but I guess for many it was also quite challenging, I hope, at least. So all right, that was it for today, and maybe next stream will be advanced, super advanced defensive tactics. Who knows? All right, anyway, thank you guys for joining, and see you later.